particularly wonderful aspect of my noble assistant Livingston, which one cannot appreciate through a television screen, is just how wonderful he always smells. In the many years he's been in my employ, he has always donned the best colognes, flanked by a superior aftershave, leaving everyone he encounters in a state of complete olfactory bliss.
Thank you, sir.
Do not thank me yet. Well, I touch upon this topic simply because tonight's film revolves around the story of a mad scientist who breeds a murderous colony of bats that specifically targets victims wearing pleasant aftershave. The fact that my esteemed butler has the most pleasing aroma amongst our trio gives me great comfort in knowing that were such a bat to pay a visit to our lovely home, Mr. Livingston would be the first victim and would buy enough time for both Tangela and I to make a hasty retreat. But enough about that. Welcome to Creature Features. This is Tangela, I am Vincent, and of course my aromatic valet would be Mr. Livingston. Tonight's film is The Devil Bat, starring the legendary Bela Lugosi and other people. But what is truly exciting about our show tonight is our special guest is actress Samantha Mathis, a most talented thespian whom you'll surely remember from American Psycho, Fern Gully, Little Women, The Punisher, and a catalog of other fantastic productions. Miss Mathis will be joining us for tonight's film, telling us about her many projects, and will no doubt have many compliments for our Livingston with regards to his pleasing aroma.
As well she should.
Please enjoy these few brief adverts, and we'll return promptly. You know, it's kind of irritating when you do that.
Really?
And welcome back to the show. We are joined by a very special guest. So special. I mean, you've been in everything.
A few things.
No, you've been in like every movie I've ever seen.
Oh, well.
I only watch your films.
Thank you.
I'm that big of a fan.
Cheers.
Miss Samantha Mathis. My goodness. So, did you have trouble finding the place?
No.
It was easy, wasn't it?
It was very easy.
Oh. And she's British as well. I like that.
Not really, but...
Oh, you could do you do it better than I do.
Oh, well, you know.
I've been here too long.
Have you been here all this time?
No, I've been here for like 30 years now.
I mean, it's lovely.
No, well, I phone home and my mum goes, who is this? There's an American on the phone every time.
She thinks you're American now.
She does.
Oh, my.
Can you believe that? And Americans think I'm British, and it's like a mixed.
So you're stuck between...
Enough about me. Let's talk about you.
What?
So.
Yes.
You're an actress.
Yes.
You're a tennis player.
Yes.
You're a cook.
Yes.
A chef.
I cook.
And you cook everything as we were discussing except shark.
I don't cook shark.
You don't do shark.
I don't like to swim with sharks, and I don't cook shark, no.
Now, do you like spooky movies?
I love spooky movies.
We're going to watch a spooky movie with you tonight.
I'm scared.
It's Bela Lugosi in Devil Bat. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Good.
But I love Bela Lugosi.
You know, he was wonderful. I wish I could go back in time and do the show back in the 50s and have him on as a guest. But if I did that, I suspect he would not have been born yet, so I could not have you.
True.
So I would rather have you as a guest than Bela Lugosi, but don't tell Bela Lugosi fans about this, because they're going to write me an angry letter. They do it every time. I get angry letters anyways.
You do?
No, they don't. Well, they like me, but they like Tangela more.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us.
It's a delight to be here in your beautiful home.
Well, we're going to get all the details of what you're doing and what you're going to do. But first, we're going to start this film, Devil Bat.
Let's do it.
So, Livingston's going to cook us some popcorn.
All right.
And let's do it.
All right.
Stay with us. You stay with us. We shall be right back.
Hello. This is Dr. Carruthers speaking.
Yeah, this is Heath. Yeah, Henry Maud and I are having a little get-together at my home tonight. We want you to come.
Why, that's nice of you, and I appreciate it. But I'm very busy working on a formula for a new shaving lotion.
Oh, but Doc, this is my daughter's idea. And she's going to be awfully disappointed if you don't show up.
Don't take no for an answer. Make him come.
Yeah, you see, it's a sort of a special occasion.
I bet Mary is going to announce her engagement to that young rascal, Don Morton. Tell her I'll be there. Goodbye.
Well, it's all arranged. He's coming.
He's going to be surprised when he finds the special occasion is to present him with this bonus check.
$5,000.
have not forgotten. You hate this strange oriental fragrance, even while you sleep. Just as you did before I made you big and strong. Now, if you detect the fragrance in the night, when you're fully awake, you will strike. Yes, you will strike to kill.
Guests of the show stay at the Flamingo Conference Resort and Spa in Santa Rosa.
And welcome back to Creature Features. We are still here with Miss Samantha Mathis, watching The Devil Bat. So, bats.
Bats.
He's making bats.
Yes. Have you ever been to Austin, Texas?
No.
There's a phenomenon in Austin,
Wait, yes.
Texas.
No.
Yes?
No.
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 Yes.
I thought I did, but I did not.
In Austin, Texas, there's a bridge that goes to Congress Street, which is the main drag, and bats live under this bridge. And at sunset, during certain times in the year, people come out to wait to see the bats.
And you've done this?
I have a video of it on my phone. And you
We should
go
steal that
and
from
you
you.
see thousands of bats flying through the sky, dancing like in a, I think it's called a limerence? No, not a limerence, but
The
a
thing
murmuration.
yes.
And
Bats do
thousands
this.
of bats fly together. It's so beautiful.
Do they poop on your head?
Well, I was sitting on a balcony having a
that's good.
glass of wine when it happened,
that's
so I was
wise.
at
That's
a
wise.
good, safe distance. I didn't stand under the bridge.
Were you frightened?
No, I was mesmerized. It was beautiful.
Well, they're like flying mice, right?
I guess.
Do you like mice?
I'm not mad at them unless they're in my kitchen. And you
That's
know, I'm
true.
not, I mean, bats, you know, there's the whole suck
And
your
the
blood.
vampire aspect.
Yeah, which also freaks me out in a
And
good
then in
way.
this film, he's made them to chase cologne wearing people.
Yes, interesting.
You know, Livingston wears lots of cologne. I'm worried about him.
Does he?
If this actually exists, it could be an issue.
He'd be in trouble?
He would be. So you said you had a ghost story. I want to hear your ghost story.
So I moved to New York City 11 years ago, and I was living sort of my West Village fantasy. I was living on 10th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. I think it was 14 West 10th.
That's
And
a lovely neighborhood.
It's called the Gold Coast, and it's beautiful. And
For
I
a
was
reason.
living my West Village fantasy, and so I'm in this beautiful, it's parquet floors, it's 16-foot ceilings. I'm renting it out. I'm renting my house in LA, and I'm renting this beautiful apartment to try New York out.
Right.
And I'm at a dinner party 2 months later, and there was something weird. There was something...
At the dinner party? Or
No, in the house. There was something, you had to go down, and there was something a little chill, but I tend to block that out and
I don't
not
blame you.
let it in. So anyway, I'm at this dinner party, and Griffin Dunn, Dominic Dunn's son, is there, and he said, "You're living in that building?" And I said, "Please, what? Don't tell me." And he said, "You know what happened in that building." So there was a murder of a little girl in that building in the 80s. Her parents illegally adopted her, and he was the man was beating the crap out of his wife, and he murdered the little girl in the bathtub.
terrible.
It's a terrible story. And one night I'm telling some friends about it in my home, and they're Googling the house, and they Googled the house, the building, and it comes up as House of Death.
House of Death.
House of Death. 100 people have died there since 1901. Mark Twain
ridiculous.
lived there between 1900 and
Did
1901.
he die there?
No, he did not. But as I'm telling the story, I look down, and there's a giant puddle of water underneath me, about that wide. We removed the piano from the wall. We removed the furniture from where it was. Is there a busted pipe? Is there a... My dog is staring at the fireplace. The apartment
you're
was right
frightening
above
me
me.
more than this film is.
Good, good.
I mean, I'm
Well, but I'm still frightened by
I'm
Bela
shaken
Lugosi.
by this
Yeah,
story.
it's a good story. Look it up, House of Death.
House of Death.
It's on all the
well,
tours.
You don't live there
if
anymore,
you go,
right?
If you go to New York, you can
don't live
go
there
on a
anymore, do
spooky
you?
haunted house tour. No, I moved out like 6 months
All
later.
right.
Yeah.
So if we publicize this address, you...
I'm not there.
all
No.
right.
No.
So don't send fan mail to that.
You won't. It won't get to me.
It's a brownstone.
It's a brownstone.
I like brownstone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this film.
Yes.
So that I can see something less scary than this story you just told me. And we're going to hear some more about your life and your haunted life when we come back. Stay with us.
Well, Doc's late. Wonder if he's been called out on a case.
Perhaps I'd better phone him.
Now remember, Roy, Tommy, you're not to mention anything about this notice for the doc until after your father has presented it.
Have you warned those two lovebirds over there?
Perhaps I'd better. I want to caution both of you.
Not to say a word about the check.
Until you're ready to spring it on him.
Your father will make the presentation, Mary.
Why don't you unveil it, like a statue? Then we could all be in on it.
You know, I think it'd be a better idea to put it in a bottle and launch him with it.
You must have gotten that idea out of a bottle.
Well, the doc isn't coming.
What?
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, he just got busy with his new formula and forgot all about us.
He'd forget the formula if he knew about that $5,000 check.
Well, why don't we all go up there and give it to him?
No, I wouldn't do that. He doesn't like visits when he's experimenting.
Well, Roy can take the check up to him.
Sure, I'll take it.
Shall I make the doc a speech when I give it to him?
You won't have to, Roy. The check speaks for itself.
Yeah, and says a mouthful.
Son, tell the doc we're awfully sorry he can't be with us, but of course we understand how busy he is.
All right.
Just a minute, Roy, and I'll be with you. That's it, all right. Now, what can I do for you? We were all sorry you couldn't be there tonight. Yes, but you see, I'm busy. Something important, very important. Yes, of course. Mr. Morton and Dad had planned a little surprise for you. A surprise? It's in here. Well, let's see what it is. $5,000. What's this for? Just a little token of the firm's appreciation. Oh, I see. A bonus. Well, it's awfully nice of you, Father and Mr. Morton. I will thank them personally tomorrow.
I'll tell them, Doctor.
Well, aren't you curious about my new formula?
Yes, of course, only I didn't want to be inquisitive. What is it?
A new shaving lotion. Smell it.
Pretty strong, isn't it?
No. The scent evaporates a short time after you've used it. Try a few drops. Now rub it on the tender part of your neck. Here. Soothing, isn't it?
Yes. When will it be ready for the market?
Oh, it's still in the experimental stage. I want to try it out on several people first and see if it works.
Well, if you'd like to send me a bottle, I'll be glad to try it for you.
Thanks.
Good night, Doctor.
Goodbye, Roy.
Lovely check, isn't it, Doctor? They are wealthy because of you. You made them rich, Doctor. It was your formula. Tonight they gave you $5,000 and wanted you to come down to their house and thank them for it. That was your money they gave you, like a bone tossed to a faithful dog. You should be very grateful, Doctor. Very grateful. They are rich and happy, thanks to you. And what have you got, Doctor?
Tonight you have work to do. It's time you were on your way.
Tonight's a good time while our families are here to announce our engagement.
Look, Don, I've loved you a long time, ever since we were kids. But I'm afraid it's been more like a sister.
Well, I had no idea you felt that way.
I better call Dr. Carruthers.
Oh, please hurry.
There's nothing I can do.
You mean he's dead?
Yes, I better call the coroner.
You think it's murder?
I don't know. I never saw anything like it before. The jugular vein is severed.
Send Johnny Layton in here.
Well, what have I done now? Who wants me fired this time?
Nobody yet, but it's still early. This came in from Heathville. It's a mystery killing. Old Martin Heath's son.
Who's Martin Heath?
Who's Martin Heath? Say, have you ever had a date with a girl?
A girl? Oh, yes, a girl. I believe I did take a girl out once.
Well, did she smell sweet?
Of course she smells sweet. Most girls do.
Well, that's because of Martin Heath Cosmetics Limited. They make all that goo that the women put on their faces so they won't have to wash them with soap and water.
I get it. A big man, huh?
Yes, and a big advertising account. Grab yourself a photographer and get along over there to Heathville. The coroner's holding an inquest. Find out who really killed old man Heath's son.
Okay, McGetty, I'm on my way.
And welcome back to Creature Features. We are still here with Miss Samantha Mathis. So, Bela Lugosi's character in this film is making lotion and passing it out to unsuspecting people who will be eaten by bats.
Yes.
Would you take free samples of lotion if they were offered to you?
Absolutely.
Really?
Well, yeah, I'm a girl.
Oh.
Although now this movie is making me suspect.
I would take it as well.
Did you ever read a book called Perfume?
No.
It's a wonderful book called Perfume, and it was about a man in France in the 1700s, and he made perfume to drive people wild.
Did it work?
It did. And,
what?
And he made them
highly
sexualized, and
what was
and
it
then
called?
he murdered them. It's called Perfume. Oh, what was the perfume called? I don't know, but the book is called Perfume. It just reminds me of this movie. Anyway, yeah. Sure, I'm a girl. I like free samples. But I guess maybe I should be a little more suspect.
If you were bat bait, that would not be good.
Yeah. Although, you know, the whole vampire thing, it's kind of
That's true.
freaky
That's true.
but sexy.
What's more freaky is American Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You were so wonderful in that film.
Thank you so much.
Did you, love making it?
Oh, I loved it so much. I mean, it was the first time that I did a film which was a period movie that I'd lived through. So that was weird to do an 80s movie, and I was like,
It was
yeah, no,
done
I
in
wore those shoulders.
2001, and I never realized it was set in the 80s.
It was, it's all about the sort of Greed is Good and Gordon Gekko era of...
No wonder I love the music.
Yes. I mean, Phil Collins.
Right.
Yeah. Well, although maybe Phil's not your cup of tea, but...
No, I like him.
Yeah, it was an amazing movie to do. I had worked with Christian Bale on Little Women.
That's right.
When he was 19, and he was still sort of a lanky young man.
How old? Well, I'm not going to ask.
And then he was maybe in his mid-20s. And so when I arrived in Toronto, because of course it takes place in New York, so we shot it in Toronto, and I arrived, and he was this huge buff man with these muscles and these capped teeth. And he said, "Hi, Samantha, how are you?" And I said, "Stop it, you're British." And he was like, "Why am I making you feel uncomfortable?" And I was like, "Yes, you are. You are not Patrick Bateman. You are Christian Bale. Stop, please."
That is so funny.
But for the most part, he did beautifully and non-offensively stay in character, which I understood. He really crafted a beautiful character, but it was freaky.
Disturbing.
Yeah. I survived. I like to be one of the 3 blonde survivors, you know. Chloe
They always
Sevigny,
kill them off, don't they?
Chloe and Reese and myself all survived. So that was nice. I didn't come to a bloody end.
I liked his plastic coat. I thought that was quite fashionable.
It was. Yeah, he was very tidy and meticulous.
Is he
Didn't
really
like
like
to
that?
make a mess, you know. Sorry.
Is he really like that now?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, but
He did the Batman thing, and then he
did.
stopped.
He did it really well too, didn't he?
I'm just trying to tie to the movie. You know, the whole
Bats.
Batman, Christian Bale, Christian Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, who's doing it now?
Don't know. Who is Batman?
Who's doing Batman now? Affleck. Who?
Affleck.
Oh.
Affleck.
I like him. Not as Batman, but I like him.
Christian was, for me.
I think he was.
I mean, George Clooney's obviously the best, but yeah, Bats. Oh, I love George. I love George. Those weren't the best.
He just moved back from Italy.
He did. Well, he still has the house.
And he hasn't called me. He has not rung me once.
Did you have a falling out?
No, we've never had a falling in. So.
Right. But he was a fan of your music.
I would hope he was. I mean, he was in that era.
Yeah.
And he was young enough.
As was I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw you at any of my concerts.
Sorry.
Right. I would have given you tickets for free.
Well.
It'd be like a sample. Try my music. Right? You would have taken it because you're a girl. Oh, it's not lotion. All right. I'm getting the signal. We got to go back to this film.
All right, let's
do it. I want to talk to her. I mean, she's more fun than this film.
Well, no, that's not true, though. It's Bela Lugosi. It's bats and vampires.
And you have a Bela Lugosi story for us when we come back. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch some more of the film, then we're going to have a break, and then we're going to come back with Miss Samantha Mathis. So you stay with us.
Chief Wilkins?
Yeah? I'm Johnny Layton of the Chicago Register.
Glad to see you.
And this is my cameraman, One Shot McGuire.
Hi, Chief.
Howdy.
Say, we're down here to cover that Heath murder, but we didn't get much information at the coroner's inquest. I thought maybe you might be able to help us.
Well, I'm always glad to cooperate with the newspapers, providing they cooperate with me.
That's the policy of our paper.
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't got very far with this thing myself. Oh, here's something that might interest you. It's a picture of the victim's wounds.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to see it better with this glass.
Are these scratches on the neck and shoulders?
Yes, but we can't determine the source. They're too deep for fingernails, too shallow to have been made by a knife. They're more like claws.
That sort of bears out Dr. Crothers' theory at the inquest of a wild animal. Have there been any circuses around here lately?
No.
Heard of any animal escaping from a zoo?
No.
Couldn't have been one of those African leopard men. They use steel claws.
This isn't Africa.
Okay, Chief, I was just trying to help.
Chief, are you sure there's no clue you're holding back while investigating?
Well, since you're going to work with me on this case, there is a clue, and a very weird one. The autopsy surgeon says that such wounds could have been made by the beak and talons of a bird.
A bird? Why, there aren't any birds around here big enough to attack a man.
How about an eagle?
We know it wasn't a bird.
How do you know that?
Because we found several hairs on the shoulder of Heath's coat.
Ah, cherchez la femme.
They're not human hairs.
What kind are they?
Well, it may sound silly, but the laboratory test shows that they were from a mouse.
Well, who ever heard of a mouse big enough to kill a man?
Say, a bat has hair like a mouse.
Well, the only bats around here are no bigger than sparrows. There was a peculiar odor about the wounds, but they were so faint and elusive that the police chemists have been unable to identify it.
Then it does give us something to work on.
Well, the scent was a clue. It's been destroyed by evaporation.
Say, Chief, do you mind if I do a little sleuthing around on my own account?
Certainly not. Go ahead. If I can help you any, why...
You can. Miss Heath seems to be the nearest to an eyewitness of the crime. I'd like to have a talk with her. Can you arrange it?
I think I can.
Well, Dr. Crothers refused to let her speak to us. We tried that this morning at the inquest.
Well, don't you worry about Dr. Carruthers. He's one of the finest men in Heathville. He just thought you'd add to Mary's grief so you could get sensational newspaper stories. I'll arrange an interview.
Thanks, Chief. I'll keep in touch with you.
All right. 48J.
Miss Heath, did your brother have any enemies that you know of?
Why, no. Everybody in the village liked Roy.
Mm-hmm. Well, what did he do at the factory?
He had charge of the experimental department where the new products are developed. Oh, here comes Dr. Crothers. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Mary. I took a shortcut from my laboratory through a garden hedge.
You met Dr. Crothers at the inquest this morning.
Yes. Mr. Layton, I hope you'll forgive me if I seemed a little abrupt. But I'm fond of Mary. And considering the ordeal she already went through, I wanted to protect her from dwelling too much of a tragedy.
Of course. You were quite right.
We're working on the case for the police now.
Yes, I understand. Chief Wilkins phoned me. And if I can be of any assistance, just call on me.
Thanks.
Won't you sit down?
Shall I serve, mademoiselle?
No, Maxine, I'll do it. You may go now.
Oui, mademoiselle.
Do you take sugar, Mr. McGuire?
Huh? Oh, no, ma'am, never. In fact, I don't even take tea. If you'll just deal me out, I'll take a look around. I may dig up a clue.
What do you think of Dr. Crothers' theory about a wild animal, Mr. Layton?
Well, frankly, I don't think much of it.
I can't say that I blame you. But I, as a scientist, take many things into consideration a layman might overlook.
For instance?
The jagged nature of the wound, the rapidity with which the murderer escaped, the scratches from talons or claws.
But when an animal attacks a human, there's bound to be a lot of noise. You heard Miss Heath testify there was no sound of a struggle.
No. Only those awful screams.
It's very puzzling, very mystifying.
Doctor, when you last saw Roy, did he seem worried or nervous or moody?
No, not at all. On the contrary. He was in the best of spirits.
Well, I've got to get back to the village now and follow my story. You'll excuse me?
If you find it necessary for us to talk again, you may come back at any time.
This evening, if it's all right with you. I'd like to spend some time here.
Why, yes, that'll be quite all right.
Thank you. Goodbye, Miss Heath.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Doctor.
A little more chiffon, baby.
I do not understand.
Oh, you know what I mean. A little more of your stocking.
Like these?
Sure, I like 'em. Who wouldn't? Now, hold nice and still, because this is going to take a little time.
Well, if you're going to shoot, shoot.
Right away, Johnny. I was just trying to get the focus.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And not bad, either. I'll be back in a minute, Frenchie. And don't worry none about those werewolves, because nothing's going to harm you while I'm around here.
You make Maxine feel so calm. My big, brave journalist.
This is my idea of nothing at all. Sitting here waiting for an animal to give us an argument. Look at that moon. And I had a date with Frenchie.
Oh, stop crabbing. We're supposed to solve a murder. You,
Big, brave journalist.
This is the first time I've ever been invited anywhere and asked not to shave until after I get there.
I wanted to observe your exact reaction when you tried the lotion.
Oh, now I understand.
I want this lotion to be perfect before turning it over to you to be marketed. Here.
It's a little strong. That'll make the customers think they're getting their money's worth. Oh, that feels great. Very soothing.
I don't think you ever use anything else.
Well, we wouldn't want to market anything we wouldn't use ourselves. That almost smells good enough to be used as a cologne. Oh, what's the matter, Doc? Can't you stand your own lotion?
I have a violent dislike for perfumes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Tommy.
Good night, Doc.
Goodbye, Tommy.
What's that?
Where?
Over there, something's moving.
Come on out of there, whoever you are. What are you doing out here, Miss Heath?
I thought you might want some company. Shall we sit down?
You know, you shouldn't be wandering around the garden at night after what's happened.
Neither should you.
Well, but it's part of my job.
Mine, too. Roy was my brother.
Miss Tangella, it's time for letters. Where is that woman?
Be careful, I think it's Tommy.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Tommy.
darling.
What's up, sis?
Mr. Layton wanted to stay in the garden for a while, so I joined him.
Don't tell me you're waiting for that animal Dr. Carruthers mentioned.
So you don't believe it either?
I certainly do not. It's ridiculous.
But somebody or something killed your brother.
And I suppose you're working on the theory that the murderer always returns to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps I am.
Well, not for me. If you'll take my advice, Mary, you'll leave these gentlemen to their vigil and go to bed. That's what I'm going to do. Good night.
Good night, Tommy. I don't think your brother likes my being here.
Oh, you mustn't mind Tommy. We're all terribly upset.
I know.
Tommy!
Come on.
But I'm telling you, McGetty, it was a bat. I saw it kill Tommy Heath.
Listen, Johnny, I want you and One Shot to come on home or I'll fire both of you.
I'm not coming home, and neither is One Shot. I'm keeping him here to get a picture of the devil bat. Say, that'll look great in the headlines. Devil bat strikes again.
Listen, don't tell me it had horns. Maybe I better send a wagon with the steel bars and the strong boys with the straitjackets.
Look, Joe, have I ever lied to you?
Plenty of times.
Well, I'm not lying this time. If it ever got out that I cooked up a fake story about a devil bat, I wouldn't be able to get a job on a country weekly. Print the story, Joe. So help me, it's on the level.
All right, I'll print it. But I won't believe it. Not till One Shot gets me a picture of that devil bat in action.
Don't worry, he'll get it. Goodbye. You, my friend, are going to get a shot of the devil bat in action.
Who, me? How?
Have you noticed there's a taxidermist shop in the village?
Well, you wouldn't suggest that I go out and stuff a bird, would you?
One Shot. To think that you'd even hint that I would suggest you have the village taxidermist build you a nice big bat for pictorial purposes. Besides, a bat isn't a bird, it's a mammal.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Where is this bird stuffing emporium? Oh, down on Cottage Grove Avenue. Now, here's the idea, Frenchie. You hang on to the bat till I get my camera set up. And when I raise my hand, you give the bat a good shove, and it'll swing out just like it's flying. Then I can get a swell picture from my boss. Get it?
Oui. I am wise, no?
No. But hang on to the bat until I raise my hand, huh?
Sherry, are you hurt?
Say, what's the idea of breaking up my devil bat? I'm going to make you pay for that.
And I'm going to take you to jail until you explain this. Come on.
You can't do this to me.
I'm doing it.
I was just conducting a little experiment, trying to find out how the devil bat does his killing.
I'm sure McGuire didn't intend doing anything wrong. He's just a little overzealous about his work.
Yeah, with the town in an uproar, and everybody terror-stricken, wondering whether he's going to be the next victim, I don't want any more trouble stirred up, even with an artificial bat.
You'd better get back to the hotel. I want to talk to the chief alone.
Is it all right, Chief?
Yeah, but be careful in the future.
Ever smelled anything like this before?
Well, yes. That's the same stuff that's been on every one of the devil bat's victims. Where'd you get it?
Found it in Don Morton's bathroom.
Find out where Morton got it?
No, I didn't want to arouse suspicion by asking questions till after it's been analyzed.
You think it has any connection with the murders?
That's the way it strikes me, but I can't figure out how.
I'll get the police chemist on it right away.
I'll snoop around, see if I can find out where Morton got it.
Well, it probably came from down at the Heath Cosmetic plant. I've men working on a theory of a disgruntled factory employee committing the crimes.
It's certainly more than coincidental that all the victims have been members of the Heath and Morton families.
Yeah. Looks like a plot to wipe them all out.
I wish the rest of them would leave town until this crime is solved.
You're worried about Mary, aren't you?
Well, yes. I've been urging her to leave, but she won't go without her father. And he insists on remaining here to help clear up the crime.
And worse than that, neither Heath nor Morton will let me give them a bodyguard.
I guess we'll just have to wait for something to break. Good night, Chief.
Good night, Johnny.
Boy, if I got a picture, it'll knock McGinty dead. Meet the double bat.
Well, how about that wire? Looks as if the bat's on a flying trapeze.
Oh, but I'm not through working on it yet. See, I can touch this picture up so the bat will look like he's got nothing around him but nothing.
Okay, Rembrandt. You win.
Welcome back to Creature Features. We are with Miss Samantha Mathis, who came all the way up from New York or L.A.?
Well, I came from LA today, but I live in New York, yeah.
Do you like living in New York?
I do.
I love New York.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the few places that I had a bad impression of before I visited. And when I visited, I loved it.
Did you have a really good show there?
We had 3 good shows there and 10 bad ones.
It's a tough town.
I remember the good ones.
Yeah.
So this film.
Yes.
Newspaper reporter is the investigator. And do you know that man who plays the newspaper reporter was in that film Reefer Madness?
Reefer Madness.
It's quite popular here in California.
Sure.
Reefer Madness. It's like, is it legal in New York yet?
No, it's not. I mean,
That's
you can smoke pot on the street and have a certain amount, but it hasn't gone, you know, medical or mainstream yet.
Right.
But they're working on it. It'll happen.
I don't do those things anymore. I used to in my youth, but now I'm too old.
We're both too old.
Oh, it's just like we don't have enough brain cells left to spare any.
I always say when I run into someone and I can't remember the name or I can't remember something, I'm sorry, but I'm over 40, I'm blonde, and I'm an actress. I'm paid to remember my lines, but that's all I can remember.
I think you're short-selling yourself.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, you had that story about Bela.
Well, so, Bela, when I was 6, living with my father for a period of time. He lived in Brooklyn. He was an administrator at Pratt Institute. He was vice president, and we were living on campus, and he had this beautiful old brownstone. And I remember creeping down the stairs, and he and my stepmother were watching a Dracula movie.
The Dracula movie?
Yeah. And I cuddled up with them on the couch, and I was terrified. But I couldn't take my eyes. I was 6. It's maybe a little inappropriate. And maybe a year later, we went on a family retreat for her family. We were staying in the woods, and I literally got out of bed and had to grab her and make her come sleep with me because I was convinced that Dracula was outside my window.
6 years old?
Yeah.
That could be frightening.
Yeah.
But in the 70s, we had like Night of the Living Dead, zombies, and
we had a lot
that didn't frighten you?
I didn't see those things, but because it was a classic.
Oh.
I was allowed to see it.
You know, there's a strange scene at the beginning of that film where the vampires are awakening, coming out of the coffin, and they show a tiny coffin with, what is it, a bee comes out? It's the oddest scene. It makes no sense to me. But they show a bee coming out of a tiny coffin, if you ever see it again.
I don't remember that, but it's been a few years.
And I didn't either, and when I saw it recently, and it was like, what's up with the vampire bee in the coffin?
The vampire thematic made a huge impression on me at that age. And then when I was 19, I went backpacking in Europe, and we went to Greece, and I remember getting sick, and I was staying in a youth hostel, which was in a cave in Santorini, and I was holed up in bed reading The Vampire Lestat.
You need to write a book.
Do I?
You do.
All right.
I think you should.
Will you help me?
I would love to help you. I'm not going to be much help, but I think you should write a book.
Thank you.
I will endorse it.
I will take that under advisement.
And we could put my photo on the front, and it'll be written by you.
Okay.
No.
Sure.
I think it should be your photo, and I'll just write the foreword.
So, yeah, vampires. Vampires.
Have you been in any vampire films?
Couple.
All right, I want to talk about your vampire
All
films
right,
when we come
we
back.
will, yeah.
But first, let's get back to The Devil Bat with Bela Lugosi. We'll see you after the break.
This is your news commentator, Walter King. Tonight we're broadcasting from the little village of Heathville, where an alleged devil bat has claimed 3 victims during the past 6 weeks. You will note that I say alleged devil bat. That, ladies and gentlemen, is because your correspondent has been very skeptical from the start as to the existence of this horrendous creature. I have as my guest in the studio tonight Professor Percival Garland Rains, perhaps the world's greatest authority on animal life. I'm going to interview Professor Rains on the subject of the devil bat. Our radio audience may draw its own conclusions. Professor Rains, first let me ask you, point blank, do you believe that any such creature as the devil bat exists?
I do not.
He's got a nerve.
Quiet.
In the Dark Ages, when men and women lived in caves, there may have existed a bat of this size. But not in this day and age.
How do you account for the fact that Mary Heath, whose 2 brothers were victims of the devil bat, and a newspaper reporter, John Layton, claim to have seen this amazing creature?
Sometimes under stress of excitement, our minds play tricks on us.
He's insinuating you saw the little bat that wasn't there.
Pipe down. But how about the picture of the devil bat published by Mr. Layton's paper?
I examined that picture under a powerful magnifying glass. I denounce it as a fraud. Whoever constructed the strange-looking monster forgot to remove a label from the silk. From the silk used on its left wing. That label reads, "Made in Japan."
Put through a hurry call to Heathville. I want to talk to Johnny Layton. He's at the Heathville Hotel.
One guess who that is.
Yeah, McGinty.
Go ahead, pour it on.
So you slipped over a fake picture on me, huh? Well, you're fired, both of you. And I'll see to it that you never work on another newspaper as long as I live. Made in Japan. You tell One-Shot McGuire he ought to be snapping photos in a booby hatch. Both of you, come on in and get your final checks.
Oh, no. We're not coming in to get anything. All right, so we're fired. But we're staying here just the same. I saw that bat.
We're going to stay here till we catch that bat, and when we do, I'm going to bring it in and stuff it down your throat. Goodbye.
Well, we're fired.
Again. That's him calling back to apologize. Now, you give him a good scare.
No use begging us to go to work for you again, McGetty. You fired us and we're staying fired. Oh, Mary, I thought it was somebody else.
Johnny, why did you make a joke of a tragic thing like this?
But it wasn't intended as a joke, Mary. I was only trying to get the news.
I suppose you call it getting the news when you arrange to print a picture. That's a deliberate hoax. That has the entire country laughing. A grand joke, Johnny. But somehow I can't appreciate it.
But I can explain that picture.
Don't try, Johnny.
Made in Japan. I ought to skin you alive and nail your hide to a barn door.
Here's the chemist report on that shaving lotion.
I see you couldn't break down one of the ingredients.
Yes, he said it must be some element with which he's not familiar.
We won't get anywhere until we identify it.
There's just one other man in this town that might be able to help us. Dr. Carruthers.
Yeah, Carruthers could help us. I found out he compounded that lotion.
Well, if you suspect Carruthers, you're barking up the wrong tree, Johnny. He's the last man in this town that would harm anyone. Why, everybody loves him.
Maybe so. But here's something else I dug up. The Heath and Morton fortunes are based on a greaseless cold cream formula Dr. Carruthers invented.
So what?
All the doctor got out of it was $10,000, and the others made a fortune.
Well, it's common knowledge that he sold out for cash when he could have had an interest in the firm.
Just the same, every victim had this stuff from his laboratory on him.
Maybe you've been working too hard on this case, Johnny.
I'd like to get his reaction on the stuff. If he denies knowing anything about it, we'll know there's a tie-up somewhere.
I think you're balmy. But just to show you that I'm following up every clue, we'll talk to him.
We'll put this in another bottle, and without telling him we know he compounded it, ask him to analyze it.
Doc, I hope we're not upsetting your work barging in on you this way.
No, no, not at all. I'm anxious to help solve these crimes. All the victims were very dear friends of mine.
Here's a sample of the stuff young Morton and the two Heath boys had on them when they were attacked by the devil bat.
Of course, it doesn't make sense to me that a bird would choose only people using that particular stuff.
A bat is not a bird. It's a mammal.
Well, anyway, our police chemist couldn't break down one of the ingredients. We thought perhaps you could.
Why, I compounded this myself. It's a new shaving lotion I'm experimenting with. The ingredient your chemist couldn't break down, I discovered years ago in Tibet.
How did you happen to put it in a shaving lotion?
Oh, the lamas use it in some of their religious rites as a perfume. The scent is very pleasant and can't be imitated by competitors.
But what were Don Morton and the two Heath boys doing with the stuff?
Oh, it is the policy of our firm to try out any new product before marketing it.
Well, that knocks our theory into a cocked hat.
Yeah. We were hoping the unknown ingredient might turn out to be some sort of a clue.
This isn't the kind of bottle I give it out in, but I presume your chemist changed it when making the analysis.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do to help?
Tell me, did you hear Professor Raines on the radio last night?
Yes. It was very interesting and very asinine.
You mean you believe there is a devil bat?
Why not? You saw it, didn't you?
Well, sure I did. So did Mary.
Then why worry about what one scientist says?
That one scientist got me fired.
Oh, you mean your newspaper discharged you?
That's right.
Oh, that's too bad. Then you're believing Heathville before the mystery is solved.
I'm afraid not. I'm going to stay here and work with the chief.
Since you're going to stay here for a while, I would like you to try out a bottle of the new lotion and tell me how you like it. And you too, Chief.
No, not me, Doc. If my wife ever smelled perfume on me, she'd suspect me sure.
Well, Mr. Layton, I understand you are not married.
All right, I'll try it in the morning when I shave. I guess we better be going, Chief.
See you later, Doc.
So long, Dr. Crothers.
Goodbye, Mr. Layton.
And welcome back to the show. Miss Samantha had to step out for a moment, so we are going to take this opportunity to read our mail. What do we got, Livingston? We've got, what in God's name is on your head? Oh, it's the bats. She's so cute sometimes. All right, our first letter is to Dear Creature Features. I guess we can all answer this one, couldn't we? This is from Adam in... he doesn't say where. Adam from wherever. I absolutely love your show. I hope that you can do it for a very long time. Like till what, 4 a.m.? What does that mean? He wants us to do an extra long show?
He wants it to last a long time.
Oh, like years?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to do this till I'm bored, that's all. I hope you can do this for a very long time. I have a question. Have you ever been camping?
It was a disaster.
Well, why would you ask me that? It's a horror show. It's not a camping show. You should watch the camping channel. Adam, we'll still send you a shirt or something. Maybe we should send him a tent.
I don't believe we have any.
Well, if we did, we're not using it. All right. This next letter is from Rick in Richmond. It's over by, it's off on the other side of the bridge.
Yes. Two bridges.
I like that bridge. I can't remember the name, though.
East.
East. The East Bridge?
The East Bay Bridge.
All right, we're dealing with geographics. Dear Vincent, Tangella, and Livingston, we all have to answer this. Just a few lines to let you know how much we enjoy the show. The movies are not that bad. Night of the Living Dead, House on Haunted Hill, Corpse Vanishes, for example. Have you given any thought to a live studio audience? keep up the good work. How would we do that? I mean, if you saw what it takes to get here, Rick, you'd understand that it's rather difficult, and we don't have room for all the cars. You'd have to park like down by the seaside, and you'd get sand in your car. It would not work out very well. But maybe if we ever go into a real studio, we could do it, right?
Perhaps.
Maybe not. We'll see. And our last letter, right? We've only got 3. Oh my goodness. This is a novel.
It's a novelette.
I thought you were like abridging these for me. All right. Hello, Creature Features crew. Ooh, should these other guys be answering this one?
Perhaps.
We've got people behind the camera. So, dear Creature Features crew, thank you for putting on such a wonderful show. I find it entertaining, educational,
Indeed.
and eternally enlightening. I was wondering why Vincent doesn't smile more. I mean, I see Mr. Livingston smile more than Vincent does. That's not true.
I don't remember.
I never see him smile. Or at least he rolls his eyes more, that's true. Tangela looks lovely when she grins, but Vincent always looks so sour. Cheer up, Vincent, we love you. Nightshade from Castro Valley. Nightshade. That was my grandmother's name, Nightshade. That's quite a traditional name. Well, Nightshade, it's really simple. I have Irish hair, French skin, and British teeth. So you're not going to see me smile that much. But I do smile sometimes. You just have to watch. That's it for letters. If you'd like to send us a letter, it goes to the email address you see down here. And if you send us a letter and we read it on the air, we shall send you some kind of gift in the mail, or maybe Tangela will send you her bat, because I don't want her to keep in the house anymore. It frightens me, even though it's not real. And that's it for letters. We'll be back after the next break. Stay tuned.
Skeptical when I came to Heathville today to examine the body of this so-called devil bat. But after seeing it personally and making exhaustive research, I've arrived at the conclusion that the creature is the lone survivor of a type of giant bat which existed in great numbers during the early part of the Neolithic age. Perhaps I should explain for the benefit of some of our listeners that the Neolithic age is that period of antiquity commonly called the Stone Age.
Imbecile, bombastic ignoramus.
McGinty, but One Shot and I are not interested. At your prices. Of course, if there was a raise of, say, $30 plus a fat bonus, we might consider it.
You're hold-up men, both of you. I refuse to be robbed.
Have it your way, McGinty. Have it your way. But we have the bat's corpus delicti and the exclusive picture. Of course, I've got an eyewitness story that 2 syndicates are bidding for.
And don't forget, you gotta pay us for the time we were fired.
That's better. Now you're talking, boss. Okay, we're working for you again. We'll gather up the loose ends and see you in a couple of days. Goodbye. Come in.
Hello, Johnny.
Well, Mary.
Johnny, I came to tell you that I'm sorry I said what I did the last time we talked. Do you suppose... well, I don't know how to say it, but...
I do.
Miss Heath, do you suppose that little French girl would apologize to me if I looked her up?
Well, positive she would.
Splendid. You will be even greater than your unfortunate predecessor. Enraged, aren't you? Fine. I'm enraged also. Tonight I shall call on Henry Morton, and you shall strike him down. Henry, the lotion has turned out to be better than I had hoped. I want you to try it.
Well, just leave it here, Doc, and I'll try it in the morning after shaving.
Smells good, doesn't it?
Yes, but isn't it too strong?
No, no, no. Evaporation quickly tones it down just to the right scent. Rub a few drops on your face.
Well, I'd rather wait until after I shave. Then my skin will be more tender and receptive to a lotion.
Just a little here. The texture of the skin there is always very delicate. I give you a few drops in your hand.
I hope you're right about that scent evaporating quickly. I smell the high heavens.
Perhaps that will be the secret of its success.
Well, you can never tell what's going to happen in this business.
You can believe me, Henry. You don't have to worry.
Yes, I can believe that, Doc. All of your formulas have been highly successful. Oh, I've been going over the report of the company's annual earnings. A net profit of over $1 million. Not bad, eh? When you remember what we built on. A mere $10,000 for your formula. You shouldn't have demanded all cash, Doc. You should have ridden along with us. Then you'd be rich, too. Well, but then you've had a lot of fun in your laboratory with your experiments, dreaming up something new. You're a dreamer, Doc. Too much money is bad for dreamers.
So you try to pay me in flattery, telling me that I'm a dreamer. Well, I do dream. Dreams that you could never guess.
Your nerves are frayed, Doc. Now calm down. Get a grip on yourself. You've been working too hard on your formula.
Formula. That's but child's play for a great scientist. Your brain is too feeble to conceive what I have accomplished in the realm of science.
Doc, you've made some great scientific discovery. What is it?
When you'll find out, Henry, it'll be too late for you.
Oh, come, Doc. You can't pretend to control a man's destiny.
I've already proved it 3 times.
sorry. Perhaps you're right, Henry, about my working too hard. I guess I'm a little tired. I better go home and get some rest.
Sure. A night's sleep will do you good. Good night, Doc.
Goodbye, Henry.
"36J.
Hello?
Oh, that's you, Martin?
Yes, Henry.
I want you to call Chief of Police Wilkins to come to your house immediately. It's very important.
Chief's here now.
Well, don't let him leave until I get there.
What on earth's happened?
I think I've got a clue to all those murders. It may peter out, but if half what I suspect is true, it's the most diabolical plot that a madman ever concocted.
What is it?
Talk about the absent-minded professor. I forgot my hat.
Henry, what is it?
I'll tell you all about it when I get there.
I hope I didn't intrude on a private conversation.
No, nothing important.
And welcome back to Creature Features. We are watching The Devil Bat with Miss Samantha Mathis. Are you liking this film?
Very much.
Good. I like it. You know, I normally don't like the old films, but this one, well, there's no color.
It's black and white leaves everything to the imagination. It makes it scarier.
No,
you get to imagine.
I know. But all the clicky sounds and all the... It's a good movie. And that's all I care about. We've got a great guest who has wonderful stories. Have you heard some of these? Some people are just tuning in.
Right, yeah.
You missed out. We're not going to repeat this episode for a year or 2 or 10. You don't know. They're online. Somebody's posting them online. It's all right.
Cool.
Yeah. So you did Salem's Lot with Rob Lowe.
I did. And Andre Braugher and Donald Sutherland.
Do you know the tongue twister for Rob Lowe?
No.
How many Lowe's could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob Lowe's?
I've never heard that.
I know. Somebody sent it in to me.
It's a good one.
Yes, I love it. So you did that and you loved doing it. No?
Well,
Yes?
yeah. I mean, I was my first of now 3 times working on Stephen King. It was the first time I'd read Stephen King.
How many Stephen Kings?
3. So Salem's Lot, then we did a miniseries called Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which was a collection of short stories, and then I did Under the Dome.
I have not seen this one.
That was a TV series, a limited run series on CBS.
And it's Stephen King as well.
It is indeed.
I think you've done more Stephen King movies than Stephen King.
I don't know, but I love Stephen King. He's such a good writer, and I didn't realize until I did Salem's Lot that he... this is embarrassing to say, but again, I'm blonde, I'm over 40, I'm an actress, so I just always associated him with like the checkout stand at the grocery store or the airport. Like, I didn't realize, oh right, Carrie, oh right, Cujo, oh right, all these movies, and that his writing is so character specific, and so it was a delight to fly 17 hours to Australia to pretend I was in Maine to shoot Salem's Lot and read the book.
Have you ever met Stephen King?
I did. I met him on Under the Dome.
I met him once as well in
How
the
was
green
that?
room at the Today Show. And it was funny because he was not at all what I expected. I expected him to be like this dark, sinister person. And he spoke like the man down the street who drinks beer in his driveway.
Can I tell you my Stephen King
Yes,
story?
go.
Okay, so we're doing Under the Dome. We're doing the pilot of Under the Dome, and we're doing a reading of the script. The whole cast is coming together. So
And he's involved in this?
Yes, he wrote the pilot. So I go down to the gym, as you do before you're going to work, and I'm on the treadmill, and Stephen King walks in shorts and a Twilight t-shirt and tube socks and says, "Do you think they have headphones in here so I can listen to my music?" And I was like, I don't know, Mr. King.
You were starstruck.
You maybe ask the concierge. We were in a Holiday Inn, but ask the front desk. So he comes back a few minutes later, and I said, "I'm sorry, Mr. King. I mean, it's 8:30 in the morning. But I was in Salem's Lot. I played so-and-so, and I did Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and I'm playing the character, which is actually not in the book for Under the Dome, but I'm working on your project. And he was like, oh, yeah. I hate working out. I was like, me too. He got on the treadmill right next to me, and we just kind of, walked together. And I was like, all right, I'll see you at the reading. And he was adorable. We did the reading, and if you had seen the pilot, anyone who's seen the pilot will know that a cow was split in half in the pilot when the dome comes down. And when we were reading it, and that part was read aloud, he went, yeah!
He strikes me as the type who would do that.
He loves what he does. He loves the genre. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to this film. But
Yes.
I want to hear what you're going to do next in the next segment.
All right.
When we come back from the break. So you guys stay with us. She's good.
I hope Henry was right about having a clue. But why didn't he explain more about it when he phoned?
When I insisted, he changed his tone as if he'd been interrupted. I was afraid that he might be overheard. What is that squeaky sound?
Oh, just some night noise.
Help!
I feel much better, Mr. Heath, since you asked us to stay in your home until this new devil bat has been killed. I've been worried about Mary.
What reason have you to believe that Mary is in danger?
Only this. I'm convinced that someone is using the bat to wipe out the entire Heath and Morton families.
As a scientist, I assure you, the thought of a human controlling a bat is fantastic.
Just the same, no villager's been killed or even attacked.
You're forgetting, aren't you, that Mr. McGuire was attacked. He's not a member of either family.
Why, I'm practically a member of this family already. I'm going to marry Miss Heath's maid.
Oh, really? Well, boys, I'll have Maxine show you to your rooms.
I must be running along home. It's past my bedtime. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night,
Good night, Martin.
Good night,
Good
Doc.
night, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mary.
Come along. Maxine?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Did you fill my perfume bottles with something new?
Oh, no, mademoiselle. I never touch your perfume.
It's funny. I don't recognize it. Perhaps Dad filled them as a surprise. He always does that with every new perfume the plant puts out.
Is there anything else?
No, Maxine, that's all. Good night.
Good night, mademoiselle.
Mary, what happened?
It was trying to get in the window. A big bat. Oh, it was awful.
Mary, I want you to tell me everything you did just before that bat tried to get in.
Well, first I took a bath. Then I brushed my hair, and Maxine came in and turned the covers down. And then fastened the screen, which somehow had come unhooked.
Yeah? Go ahead, what else?
Well, then we talked about some new perfume that someone had put in my dressing table bottles. Dad, did you put any new perfume in my bottles?
No, I didn't.
Is this the stuff?
Yes.
Johnny, this smells like...
Hey, quiet. I've got a hunch that I want to follow up, and I'll need everybody's cooperation.
We'll do everything we can.
Of course.
What's Carruthers' number?
48J.
Operator, give me 48J, please. Hello, Dr. Carruthers. This is Johnny Layton. That's right. Something terrible has happened to Mary. Can you hurry over?
I'll be right there.
Good.
Oh, Johnny, I'm all right. I don't need a doctor.
That's where the cooperation part comes in, Mary. You'll have to pretend to be a nervous wreck. Mr. Heath, you in one shop must help her trick Dr. Carruthers into staying here as long as you can.
Where are you going, Johnny?
To, do a little private bat hunting.
The devil bat tried to get through that window.
If she's suffering from fright, I give her a sedative. Where's Mr. Layton?
Well, I guess he's out in the garden hunting the double bat.
Layton is a very brave young man. Give Miss Heath one of these every half an hour.
Oui, doctor.
It will quieten her nerves.
But, Doc, hadn't you better stay until she's quieter?
She'll be all right in the morning.
Hey, Doc, I don't feel so good myself. Would you mind taking my temperature?
You look perfectly well, Mr. McGuire.
Well, you ought to see my tongue. It looks just like a squirrel's tail. Look.
Try some calomel. may have visitors tonight. And it would be dangerous for me if they found you here.
Hi, Doc. I hope I'm not intruding.
No, no, not at all. I heard you were out stalking the devil bat. Any success?
No, but I thought maybe you might be able to help me.
Well, I don't see how that's possible, but if you can suggest anything...
Well, you could give me some more of that new concoction of yours, that shaving lotion.
But how on earth could that possibly help catch the devil bat?
I've still got a crazy idea that if I douse myself with it, it might attract the killer.
I don't see how you can connect the two. But there is a bottle of the lotion on the table.
Thanks. You see, Doc, I figured out something. All four of the murdered people had this lotion on them when the devil bat struck. Now, my plan is to sit in the garden, and when the killer makes one of those power dives, I'll blast him.
Layton, I'm afraid all these murders have affected your mind.
Maybe you'd like to come along, Doc, and be an eyewitness.
I'm sure it would be just a waste of time, but I'd be glad to watch your experiment.
Good. I knew I could count on you to help me.
I tell you, Layton, expecting a bat to be attracted by the scent of a lotion is all foolishness. I think I better run around.
Ah, sit down, Doc. The devil bat's behind schedule tonight. You aren't very chummy tonight. What's the matter?
Firearms always make me nervous.
Oh, I thought maybe you didn't want to be sitting too close to me. Just in case the devil bat does show up.
According to your theory, the killer wouldn't attack me. I haven't any of that lotion on me.
You have now, Doc.
Why did you do that?
To make it a 50-50 proposition, Doc. Now sit down, and don't try any shenanigans. Not so funny when it's your own jugular vein that's in danger. Is it, Doc?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe you made a mistake when you let that devil bat of yours out of the attic tonight. Don't worry about the bat killing you. I'm saving you for the hangman. Tell me, Doc, how did you develop a monster bat like that?
You wouldn't understand the scientific theory.
Hello, Chief. What are you doing out here?
Young fellow, don't think that you're the only man working on this case. And it was lucky I was here, too.
Thanks. Did you kill the devil bat?
No, he got away.
Well, here's one bird that didn't get away, and he's the murderer we've both been looking for. Quick, shoot it! Where is it?
It's gone.
And so's the doctor.
Did you get the bat?
What happened? Doc Carruthers is the murderer, and he's hiding somewheres in the garden.
You fellas get back to the house and guard Mary. Come on.
Doctor! Dr. Carruthers! Doctor! Has anything happened to Johnny? Is he hurt?
They took him up to my place. You better come along with me.
That was Mary. Are you all right, Mary?
Go help Dr. Carruthers. He's over there.
That devil bat belonged to the doctor, Mary. He created it to commit those murders.
Well, it's too late to help the doc.
And so ends The Devil Bat. That was quite a way to go.
That was crazy.
Killed by your own creation. It's like the man who invented the guillotine. You know, he died.
Did he?
I think so.
Oh.
Well, they put his head in it.
Then
And
he
I think
probably
they
died.
pulled.
If they pulled, then
You know,
he died.
we have a guillotine. We own one.
What do you do with it?
Well, we were going to just use it as a decoration, but it was a good deal on Craigslist if you had to remove a head.
Right.
All right. Enough of this. You, what are you doing next? What's on your agenda?
Okay, so I just finished doing The Strain last year. Spoiler alert.
Do it.
I died at the end of last
No.
season. But season 4 is on right now. So I died at the end of season 3.
I think they're
going to
bring you back.
blaze of glory.
No, they need to bring you back.
Well, no, at the end of season 4 is the end of the show. But I was a vampire killer. I led the security force for New York City. I was a badass named Justin
How many did you kill
Feraldo.
before you
Well, I
perished?
killed a lot, but then I had a whole group of henchmen, like firefighters and policemen working for me, because she was a badass from Staten Island named Justine
Right.
Feraldo, who just did not suffer fools. And she was a widow of a firefighter, so she just really loved, like, you know, the working class and, like, taking care of them. So anyway, that was last year. And then in the last year, I just did 4 movies.
4 in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, you know, independent cinema, so we hope they'll end up on Netflix.
They move fast.
But the one I just finished, I think, will actually properly come out, and it's called You Can Choose Your Family with Jim Gaffigan. Instead of You Can't, You Can.
And how does that work?
Well, he, I don't want to give it all away, but let's just say he has a family, and his son leaves. He's married to Anna Gunn from Breaking Bad.
I love her.
And yeah, she's fabulous. And the son leaves for a spring break. He ditches his family, basically, because dad goes away on a trip to Japan. Right. And then he finds his dad in this vacation town, and he follows him, and he discovers something about his dad that involves me. And if you think about you can choose your family, maybe there's another family.
Did you shoot in Japan?
No, he never goes to Japan. He's full of shite.
Oh.
He just goes to his other family. So that I just did. I did a movie with Alan Rudolph, who's this wonderful film director that did The Moderns and all these great artistic movies in the 80s and 90s. That was called Ray Meets Helen, and I played Ghost.
You played Ghost.
Sandra Locke follows me out of a bar. I'm very drunk, and I'm espousing poetry. And then
Sandra Locke? Like
who was married to Clint Eastwood?
Oh, I have not seen her in years.
She's exceptional and beautiful and brilliant, and she follows me out of this bar, and she finds me dead under a tree with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and I become her ghost or her spirit muse. So that was with Keith Carradine.
How fun! When's that coming out?
And Jennifer Tilly. I don't know. It's being shopped around right now. And then I did another movie with Dylan McDermott.
I know him. What's he in?
He's been on so many television series. He's a very handsome man and a wonderful actor, and it's called Clove Hitch. Clove Hitch is a knot, and it's, I would say, loosely inspired by a serial killer called the BTK killer.
I remember that one.
Yeah, who was your average guy in the Midwest, church-going, ran his son's Boy Scout troop. And in our movie, his 16-year-old son, it's the anniversary of the Clove Hitch killer, and the son thinks, there's something wrong with Dad.
What a wonderful list of upcoming things.
They're fun, they're varied. I played all sorts of different characters.
And you just knock these things out of the ballpark.
You go, when you're asked to go to the sandbox and play, you go and you play, and then you see and you hope it comes out.
And you're obviously asked to the sandbox quite often.
It's been a good year.
Yes.
Yeah, cheers.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, and you've been on Creature Features, so
I mean,
you've rounded it off.
I have.
With this.
And it's been a delight.
It's been an absolute delight for
I would
us.
be delighted to come back.
We want you to come back. In fact, what are you doing Monday?
I'm in New York.
I'd rather be in New York as well. Yeah. Besides, we do this on Saturday.
But do you want to go to Hollywood Forever Cemetery with me?
That would be fun.
We could go and see a movie.
What movie?
Projected on the side of Alfred Hitchcock's crypt.
I would love to do that. Tonight?
I mean, I think it'll be hard to get there in time.
I can commission.
Tomorrow?
I can commission a jet.
Oh, well then, let's go.
Off we go.
Bye.
See you next week.